A lifetime has passed since the horrific events of Taco Tuesday. Once, everything was awesome. Now, everything is bleak.
Hey, Lucy! I brought you coffee!
Coffee. The bitter liquid that provides the only semblance of pleasure left in these dark times.
Oh my goshness, did I interrupt you brooding just now?
Well, when you gotta brood, you gotta brood. Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and this is a special request. This is a review of the Lego Movie 2, the second part, and I hope you enjoy it. So the Lego Movie 2, the second part, which, by the way, I've got to tell you, I love that title. It's very fitting, especially given how self-aware this movie is, and we'll get into that later. But for right now, quick rundown of the plot. So the movie takes place immediately after the events of the first movie. We see the characters that we all know and love from the original, and they are greeted by a group of aliens from the Duplo galaxy. This interaction quickly escalates, and next thing you know, the two are at war with each other. And soon after that, we're moved 5 years into the future. And during that time, the Legos have been invaded by these Duplo aliens, and has turned their society into this apocalyptic wasteland a la Mad Max. So the city of Bricksburg has been turned into Apocalypseburg. Again, very self-aware. And the characters that we all knew and loved from the original ones have been turned bitter and brooding, and again, just hardened to this new reality of life. Everyone, that is, of course, except for our hero Emmett, who is ever the eternal optimist, always looking for the bright side, always finding that silver lining, always happy, always looking for the good in people. Much to the chagrin of Lucy, his special friend, who wants him to grow up, who wants him to be more brooding, darker, like she and all the other Legos have kind of become after this time.
Our lives descended into chaos. This new life has toughened and hardened us all.
2 coffees, please. 1 black, 1 with just a touch of cream and 25 sugars.
Well, toughened most of us.
I wake up in the morning, wide awake.
Good morning!
For the day.
Hello, cyborgs!
Say, what a morning.
Good morning, sewer babies!
Emmett, you gotta stop pretending everything is awesome. It isn't.
Yeah, I get it. And that's why I've cultivated a totally hard-edged side that's super tough and— Look, a shooting star, make a wish!
We have to be tough and battle ready.
5 years in the future, and at this point, the aliens invade again. This time, they actually take off with Emmett's friends. And so they fly off, and Emmett has to go save them. So, of course, what's a Lego guy supposed to do except take the house that he's been building for what I assume to be the last 5 years, and turns it into a spaceship so he could fly off to the Sistar system and save his friends.
Oh no. Something new. What is it up to?
I don't know, but that beat is pretty fresh. Uh-oh.
It's like it knows our every move.
Weird, right?
Emmett!
What? Hurry! The door is slowly closing!
Oh, the pain. It's getting so cold.
Emmett, what are you doing?
Hooray!
See, that wasn't so bad. Nothing got in. Ah! Something got in!
Bring me your fiercest leader.
This guy is the special special?
This guy was a fierce warrior.
Okay, well, technically, I did the warrior stuff.
So you fought and master built and kicked butt, and then the hapless male was the leader.
He, well. Emmett!
This is all my fault. Hang on to your fronds, Planny. We're going to save Lucy and all of the other people who were captured.
And along the way, he meets Rex. Rex is kind of the polar opposite of Emmett. Rex is gritty, he's action-oriented. Think Snake Plissken from Escape from New York, Kurt Russell's character. If you've ever seen that movie, you will know exactly who Rex is. In fact, my guess is that Chris Pratt, who also voices Rex, took this directly from that movie. Probably from working with him on Guardians of the Galaxy, to be honest.
Asteroids! You mind if I save your life? Not at all.
Who are you?
The name's Rex Dangervest.
Galaxy defending archaeologist, cowboy, and raptor trainer.
I don't get it. Will you help me rescue my friends? You don't want to go anywhere near the Sistar system. It's ruled by an alien queen.
Only the toughest are gonna get out of there alive.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Yes, you are.
So Emmett, of course, asks Rex to mentor him, to help teach him how to be a man, and Rex agrees to it. And the two of them, along with Rex's missile launcher-toting velociraptors, because what hero wouldn't have an army of tennis-playing velociraptors, goes off in search of Emmett's friends so they can take him back to the Lego system.
I'm a queen, whatever I would not be.
I'm getting super evil vibes here.
I can change my form to something else if this makes you uncomfortable. Hey, guys.
No, go back. The horse was much more palatable.
All right, so let's get into what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie. Starting with what I didn't like. So the pacing in this movie was off. I would say quite a bit. It started with a bang, and even then, it felt a little awkward. I would say for the first 20 minutes or so, I just didn't feel invested at all. Didn't feel like it grabbed me. And then after 20 minutes or so, it started to actually pick up and I thought become interesting. It was interesting at start, just story-wise, but character-wise, I wasn't really all that interested until, as I said, about 20 minutes in, and then it started to pick up. Another thing that was off a bit were the jokes. They came about the same speed as the original one, which is pretty frantic. There's a joke every 30 seconds, and some of them are hit, some of them are miss. I would say in this one, the funny jokes were really funny.
Did you draw stubble dots on your face?
What? No.
And the misses were very flat. So I would say that the highs were high, the lows were low, and there wasn't much in between.
Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare.
You're me when I'm late to school and I forgot my homework and my pants are made of pudding?
No, I don't.
Behold.
So it was either love it or hate it. And for the most part, I loved it, but the misses were quite substantial. Along those lines, there is a lot more adult humor in it. Nothing bad, but I can imagine there are quite a few kids out there asking their parents who the heck Bruce Willis is. But let's face it, that's not a bad thing. Kids need to learn who Bruce Willis is. And speaking of Bruce, let's get to things that I liked. One thing that I didn't enjoy about the first one was Batman. Now, this is going to get me into some trouble, but I like Batman, but in small doses. And I thought there was a little too much Batman in the first one. Way too much to have his own movie. I could take him in maybe 5-minute increments, but an hour and a half of Batman was way too much. In this one, he's really dialed back. Not the character himself, he's still the exact same character, but there's a lot less of him. And so when he does come on screen, it has more punch, and I think it's a lot more funny than it was in the original. It kind of wore a little thin in the original. In this one, he really didn't, just because they really dialed back his screen time, which was a great benefit.
I gotta get it, baby. No, it did not.
Another thing that I liked was the voice acting. I thought the voice acting was great. Chris Pratt played two parts, Emmett and Rex, and I thought he did a great job on both. One thing that kind of stood out to me was he kind of plays two characters that he's played in the past. Andy from Parks and Rec in Emmett, and then you have kind of this Owen from Jurassic Park character in Rex. And he really plays the two off of each other really well. And it's really enjoyable seeing both of them on screen at the same time. It's funny to say that he has chemistry with himself, but he really does, and it's a lot of fun to watch him. Elizabeth Banks did a great job as Wildstyle. Probably the standout of the movie, really, as far as total acting. The way that she kind of played this edgy, gritty character, but at the same time, she left something kind of soft somewhere in the background that just kind of lets it peek out through cracks every once in a while. And that's really hard to do, and she pulled it off very well. And of course, Tiffany Haddish as Queen whatever Watabi, something like that. I just remember it's a really long name. And yeah, she did a fantastic job too. She was a lot of fun. You kind of see this sly, manipulating, but at the same time have this innocence too. That's really a lot of fun. So again, just overall great voice acting through it. Really good job with that. The technology has also improved quite a bit. So visually, the movie I think looks considerably better than the original. I wasn't a fan of the way the first movie looked. It just seemed a little rough to me. This one is a lot smoother, so visually a lot more fun to watch. And of course, I can't finish a review without talking about the music. Now, I'm going to say the first one, I wasn't a huge fan of the music, the songs in it, but you know, it worked for what it needed to be. This one here, the music it's still just as poppy as the first one, but in this case they use it a little more effectively, I think. I mentioned earlier that this movie is very self-aware, and a lot of that comes out in the songs. So there's a song about how annoying the song is and how it's going to stick in your head all day. The end credits, which I think is probably one of the best songs in the movie, is all about how great the end credits are. And so it's very self-aware and very self-referential, and so very very fun there. If you listen to the lyrics, don't just get, you know, skim over it because it's poppy and obnoxious. Actually listen to it, and the music actually works, and I think more effectively than the first one. So overall, it was a really good movie. Had some great messages about being yourself, about acceptance, about playing nice with others, and it did take a while to actually take off, but once it did, I thought it flew great. Again, great voice acting, some really good jokes when they were in there, and quite a bit for everybody from kids to adults. So overall, a solid movie, definitely worth watching. I would give it a pretty solid B.
Behold, the Sister Sister.
No woes. Do not give her the satisfaction of woeing this. That's even worse. Stop it!
So there's the review. Hope you liked it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything that I said. And I'll be seeing you again real soon.